Welcome back, everyone, here to Full Circle Florida. ABC News political director Rick Klein joining us right now. Rick, your colleagues over at 538 posted an article this week with the headline, "Republicans are ramping up election fraud claims ahead of November." I thought voters rejected that strategy in the midterms. A host of election-denying candidates were defeated all over the country that night. So is this a realistic tactic that Trump and down-ballot Republicans are actually using to plant the seeds of doubt in case they do lose in 2024?
Part of it is political positioning. I think some of the Republicans that are talking like that might be looking at a slot on Trump's ticket as vice president or a position in his cabinet, and it's become almost a litmus test for participation in Trump campaign activities or consideration down the road to believe in those false claims. And they are false claims about the last election. Part of it might be strategic as well, and I think this is something that motivates the Republican base primarily. Those calls of fraud actually get people to vote a little bit more, and I think striking that kind of fear and echoing those, again, false claims is something that the Republican base has shown an aptitude for wanting to hear more of.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, voter fatigue is a real thing. A new Pew Research poll out this week found that a majority of Americans are paying attention to the race, the presidential election, but more say they're already worn out by the coverage of the campaign and the candidates. Could this be the election, I'm wondering, that's really about more about those who did not vote than those who did? Could persuading someone to stay home on election night or toss their vote to RFK Jr. actually be a winning strategy?
Yeah, join the club when it comes to fatigue. They're not alone. Anyone who feels fatigue already in this campaign. I would say that this is something I've heard from both campaigns, and particularly the Biden campaign. They say sometimes they feel like they're running not against Trump, but against the couch. And the idea of people just sitting this one out or being over it or impervious to new information and already having made up their mind, all of those are real concerns. And I think you're seeing the candidates try to shake things up. I think there's going to be a debate in a couple of weeks. Obviously, the conventions, there's opportunities for people to tune in, but you can only kind of reach them if they want to be reached, if they're open to that new information. And right now, a lot of people are tuning this out. They're kind of turning the page towards summer. School's getting out. People are making those plans. And it might not be until the fall, if at all, that a lot of disaffected voters, voters who might dislike both candidates, start to tune in.
Well, speaking of RFK Jr., he's accusing CNN and Trump and Biden's team of colluding to keep him off the debate stage. Is there any path for him to get on the stage? And why such high standards? I mean, he's doing better than Ross Perot did back in 1992, and people enjoyed those debates.
Yeah, and look, I read CNN standards, and actually they're just about exactly what's been in place for the last 40 years. There is a way for him to get on. He has to place at least 15% in 4 polls. He also has to prove to CNN that he gets on the ballot in enough places to actually be elected president. That's the way the Commission on Presidential Debates has done it for decades. I don't know the legalities around this, but there is a way for Kennedy or any third-party candidate to get on the debate stage, as far as I read it.
All right, Rick Klein, thank you for your insight. Appreciate it, sir. Next on Full Circle Florida, book bans. Is it still a hot political issue? Our deep dive.